Today we have a special guest, good friend of ours, low-key long-time friend of ours now, Jonathan from Custy. How are you doing, man?
What's going on? I'm doing good. Happy to be on the pod. Finally on the West Coast. So I know we've been trying to do this for a bit.
Yeah, I think the last time you came was the last Custy, and then we couldn't get it done that weekend, so it was good that we got it done.
I'm happy we're here. Let's do it.
How was your weekend?
It was great. It was great. I mean, an event weekend, every time we do a show, it's always like super hectic. So we're filming this on a Monday, flying out tonight. So just happy to have all the stuff behind us, but it's always on to the next one. Like we just went from Tokyo a couple weeks ago to here. Now New York next month. It doesn't stop, but it's a good thing. So the weekend was good.
How many cities have you hit now with Custy?
13 cities. Yeah.
Nice. Did you ever think you were going to get there? Like when it first started?
Oh, it's so interesting because I feel like it's like the PR answer for me to be like, oh no, I never expected this and the whole thing. But like the truth is like, I feel like we really did.
Yeah.
You know, I wrote this paper in 2016. So I was like a junior in high school and we were only a few years in. And it was like a business growth plan for this thing called DECA. Any kids out there in high school or college or whatever. It was a 5-year business growth plan. And it said, hey, you know, in the next 5 years, we're going to grow to this city and that city. And I think it said and this is 2016, so nobody knew about the pandemic. It said by spring of 2021, we'll be in Los Angeles. We were in Los Angeles in fall of 2021, but obviously, you know, the pandemic took a whole year and a half out of that. So, and at that time, we were still throwing events in an old church. Yeah. So like while we were still in that OG church, I knew that we were going to expand it. And it says in that paper, it's like, yes, we're going to expand into the greatest sneaker convention in the world and, you know, all these things. But also in that same paper, it says, you know, Instagram, we realized is a very important thing. And it looks like we've grown a lot on it. We're now at 1,400 followers. So it's like we were literally that big. But I feel like we did have that dream. You know, you never know how you're going to get there, but we've had that ambition forever, truthfully. I could be like, oh, no, we never knew it. But that's like the real honest answer.
That's good. That's good. And it's a good way to be that way.
Yeah.
How many Instagram followers do you guys have now?
Ooh, we just hit 1.2 mil the other day, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's crazy because it's not just Instagram, right? Like I spend most of my time on Instagram on social, but like, bro, we have 500,000 on Facebook, 500,000 on Snapchat, right? Like 500,000 on YouTube, almost 1 million on TikTok. Like who knows how many of those are unique, right? But I'd imagine the Snapchat and Facebook people probably aren't the same, right? So it's millions of people, which is just like insane.
No, it's one thing that we've learned with like our audience, it's all different demographics. Like they're not the same followers or the same people. Like the TikTok crowd is different from the Instagram crowd. We don't have Snapchat, but I'm pretty sure it's different. I'm pretty sure Facebook's different.
Right. Even both YouTubes, both YouTube accounts.
Yeah,
like even the podcast and the actual vlog. Some people don't know about one or the other. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah, you always trip out because it's just like, oh damn. Some people still come in there. It's like, damn, you guys have a podcast, or damn, you guys have a YouTube channel.
Yeah. So some people probably say, oh wow, you have a store. You know, we thought you're probably filming this off. It's crazy because you feel like people know everything about what you're doing. Yeah. And they really don't.
No.
You know?
100%.
It literally happens all the time. I still trip out like all the time. Like they're like, hey, even like didn't you guys work at round 2? We get that so much still.
Bro, I am so ready. I'll say this for retention reasons. I'm so ready to talk about round 2 stuff on this podcast because I feel like you guys talk about it a lot because you're in that world, but I feel like it's so under talked about in the culture today. So we can definitely get into that type of stuff.
All right. What do you want to know?
You want to start there?
We'll start there and we'll just start
honestly, I don't necessarily want to know anything. Yeah. I just want, whether it's one person, 1,000, 10,000, whatever it is that watch this that are unfamiliar, I want to shed light on the impact that round 2 has had on this culture and society.
Oh, a lot.
It's actually insane. The amount of people who are tastemakers and influencers in this, culture today, not just in sneakers, but in a lot of different things, that came from the round 2 tree, and the amount of people who are influenced by it by not even knowing about it, right? So I was at this store, I'm not going to drop the name of it, in Atlanta. It's one of the biggest resale stores in Atlanta. And I had just walked in there. Honestly, me and my girlfriend had driven by, and so we just went in, and I checked it out, and it looked really cool. And, it had the shirts hung up high on the walls, and it felt like round 2 New York, right? And I was like, oh, yeah, I can tell. The owner comes out, it's like, oh, thank you for coming. It's so nice for you to be here, whatever. Like, oh, I can tell you get a lot of round 2 inspiration from the way you set up the store. And they're like, no, we don't. We get a lot of syndicate inspiration.
Oh, shit, that's cool.
Sick.
And I was like, listen, I love those guys, but like they have round 2 inspiration. Yeah. They are round 2. Of course, they're syndicate now, and they put their own difference on it. But this person who owned this sneaker store, they had just started in the last year or two. They didn't even know like about round two.
Oh, shit.
You know, and that happens time and time again, like mixing the vintage with the sneakers. I think Sean had such a big part to do with that. Like 100%. There's so many different things. Like obviously you guys have gone and killed it. Austin with Easy, you know, we saw him yesterday. Round two Richmond, right? Like so many people that came from that tree. And of course, like things maybe didn't go the perfect way and, you know, whatever it might be. But yeah, I just think Sean, Chris, like the whole family there, Luke, like really did play a monumental part on bringing the culture where it is today. Even Common Hype, like huge YouTube, you know, sneaker channel, very, very good friends of mine, right? And I remember literally sitting them down on their couch and saying, you have to watch like 2 episodes of this. They had never seen a single episode of round 2. And they're one of the biggest sneaker YouTube collectives in the world right now. And I'm like, guys, I mean this in the most respectful way possible. I love you guys. You guys would not be here if it was not for round 2. Because they were the first people that did this in the sneaker vlog to actually get people to care. And of course, there's other people who have gone and added their own spin on it. But I just feel like Sean and the round 2 family are almost like the godfather of the reselling community. And I'm sure, I know it goes back decades before, but in the modern 2010 to now, well, so that's my rant about round 2. I'd love to hear you guys' thought on it.
The way of like doing business was definitely through them. Because like right now we post a lot of like nostalgic clips, like the round 2 clips, and people love them. And some people don't even know those exist. So it's funny just seeing like the engagement in that. But I always tell people, I was like, damn, I wish we recorded when we were at Riff. Like when we worked at Riff, like we did so much dumb shit, so many cool trades, so many cool products that we're just like, damn, and we didn't take advantage of it. But we didn't know. Like we're just like, oh, it's a consignment store, you know? Like, and we thought we were cool because we just worked there and that was enough. But then when round 2 came, it just changed everything. Like putting a vintage shirt with a pair of sneakers, like it wasn't unheard of. Obviously people would do it, but selling it at the same time at your own store, it was great. It was like amazing. And then even like the way of doing trades, like I remember the first trade I ever did at round 2, I didn't believe it. Like they're like, oh yeah, you can go there, sell your shoes, get the cash, and they'll give you a little bit more store credit. And it was Wing 12s as a customer. Wow. I had hit, and I still remember I went in there, and then Sean was like, give you 9 cash for 1,000 credit. And I was just like, the fuck? I was just like, I'll take the credit. I looked around.
Like it was GameStop or something.
Literally, like I took the credit, and I think I left with a pair of shoes and 700 cash, and I paid maybe $215, whatever it was on those. And I was just like, damn, that was sick. And then obviously I ended up working there, and, you know, it just changed. Like even like I tell them, like I used to be very standoffish, and even just the way they had customer service, like I was just like, damn, this is sick. Like,
well, speaking of that, I have a funny story. The first time we ever met, you don't even know that we met then. I was standing in line at round 2 New York. I'm probably like 19 years old. Got Soul is not even in New York yet. We're just Boston. And I was literally, I tell Sean, I was in Japan with Sean, I don't know, 8 months ago, something like that. And I told him, like, I probably am in your top 10 fans. Because, like, I remember watching his No Jumper interview, and I'm like, the only thing I want to do in life is own a sneaker store. You know, like at that time when I was like 16, 17 years old. But I was standing in line around to New York. I come in, and they did like the Through the Line vlog, you know, with Graham or whatever. And we met. We didn't even meet. I just like had tried to sell some stuff, and you didn't want like almost all of it. And I was like, oh, I hate this dude, you know. and so truthfully, before we even like really knew each other, I didn't even know your name. I just knew you from the show. And you obviously didn't know who I was. I was like, damn, this dude, he didn't want any of my stuff. You know, like where's Sean at the buying counter? Like, that's really where I was at in the beginning. So I could see the standoffishness. And obviously you've brought now to like having you guys' own platform. So it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, that was actually, I wanted to tell you that story. In the beginning, I was super salty. Like when we first met, I brought in some good stuff, dude. You didn't want most of it. My boy brought in like a whole duffel of vintage, and you guys wanted like one shirt. Like,
you know, that was always like I don't want to say funniest part, but it would always be like the super fans of round 2 that would come in. And I remember for a while it was just like, oh, it's what is it? Single stitch? They're like, it's single stitch. It has to be worth money. And I would be like, no, bro, like that's not the way it works. But we would get that so much where like they'd bring up a shirt that literally has like let's just say a donkey, and it's single stitch, and they'll be like, it has to be worth money. And I was just like, no, bro. Like we would have to explain to them like, this is why this shirt's no good. But Sean had put that out there like, yo, single stitch shirts are more, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of people just started buying. Oh shit! I started buying into that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think so many different things, like the guest stripes, right? Like,
that was a whole movement on its own.
Revolutionized, you know, so many different things where I point and listen, this will be my hot take. I think Sean Witherspoon is definitely top 3, maybe 2, maybe 1, depending on how you look at it. Most influential people that were not previously famous in sneaker culture since 2000.
No,
I put him up there with Riff, right? 100% Love, Flight Club. Honestly, I'd say us in the last few years, right, of how we've influenced it. And I'm obviously going to say that because it's us, but I can't think of a few more names of people who were not previously famous. They're not Kanye. They're not, you know, like whoever it is, name. You know, that have had that type of influence.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we saw it grow so organically, which was insane. And for all of us, even like to Sean, Luke, Russo, like, it wasn't like they were trying to get famous.
No.
Like, they were just working in their closet, doing their thing. And I feel like once the Nike came out, everything changed.
But that's why what you just said of not trying to be famous is why Round 2 works so perfectly. Yeah. Because even now, like, we do a lot of celebrity content, right? Who did we have on Saturday? I don't know. We had Ben Baller. We had, I can't even remember. We had Paul Rodriguez, and we had OGZ, right? So like 3 different names. And the way that content, and maybe it's just the difference in landscape of content now, but the way that content is going to be put out and digested by people is going to be OGZ goes shopping for sneakers at Got Soul. It's going to go from start to finish. It's going to be a 12-minute OGZ video, right? The way that they had the content back then, it'd be an hour and a half long video, and an hour and 15 minutes in, Playboy Cardi be sliding down the ladder. Yeah. You know, and it's like, he wouldn't even be in the thumbnail. Maybe he's in that thumbnail on that video, but, you know, Yachty would be there an hour in, or whoever it was would be there 100%. An hour in. You know, and it wasn't clickbait, oh, this person came sneaker shopping at our store. You know, and that was what the coolest part of it was, is they were cool without trying. Yeah. You know?
Them being smart enough to have someone have a camera on at all, like whenever Graham was around, like, was the craziest thing. Because like even what Chris said, he wished we had a camera at Riff, and it's like we didn't think like, oh, people would care to see what we had going on here, because to us it was just like another day, like, right? And it's crazy because like not everybody saw that on a daily basis, and it was just such a cool thing to like experience, and why it got receptive so well, because it's like, oh shit, like I could potentially go to that store and I'm gonna run into that whenever I go in there. Right. And like people love that.
And I have another thing to say about the Round 2 thing. And I know you guys are Round 2 guys, so I shouldn't be talking all about Round 2. But I really came into this, I'm like, obviously you guys come from that family, and I just have so much respect for Sean and everything. And now I feel like there's a narrative around Sean and the fallout of Round 2. And of course, in Chicago, Dom, Chris, like those guys are killing it. Like a lot of love to them. They're running it the right way. It looks beautiful. Even CY and the Easy team, like they're trying to still keep, you know, in Austin, they're trying to keep it alive and the whole thing. But as far as it not being in all these different cities and the whole thing, I feel like people who are upset about it or say whatever they say about Sean and the whole Round 2 thing, I was talking about this yesterday. I feel like it's because Round 2 was not Chris, Sean's, and Luke's. It was everybody's. Yeah. It really was. Like, and maybe it didn't feel that for you guys on the inside. It felt like, no, this is like our cruise thing. But like for the community, it felt like it was the community's thing. You know, where I felt like I was a part owner in it. You know, and I didn't have 0. I didn't have anything. You know, I couldn't even sell my stuff at the buying counter. But you know, it just felt like that was the case, though. Like it really felt like the way the content was and the way the feeling was, and when you walked in, like it just felt like it was everybody. So that when it ended up not going the way people wanted it to go, it felt like whoever was leading the pack had let everybody down, if that makes sense. Even though that's not the case. You know, they all have their individual lives and all those things. And, you know, I think people need to understand that. But the reason why I feel like that narrative is even out there in whatever subsets it is because people are almost disappointed by what it was and was going to be. Yeah.
No, I feel like even like in New York, a lot of people still tell me like, hey, when is a syndicate going to open over here? Because there's like not a community where we can just go hang out. Like there's stores, don't get me wrong, and there's people probably crushing it out there, but there's not a hub. And that's what Round 2 was in LA, in Chicago, in Miami, in Virginia, in New York. It was a hub. Like if you wanted to go, like I haven't gone to New York because I don't have that. Like before it was like I landed in New York, I went to my Airbnb, whatever's. Then I would go to Round 2 after I left. You would go to Round 2 because right there you're like, oh, I'm going to run into somebody that I want to hang out with. Right. And it will be like, all right, let's go get coffee. Let's go get lunch. So it was a hub of just everybody. Like literally how you said earlier, like so many people came out of that like tree that that's how it happened. It would just happen naturally. Like we made so many friends that we wouldn't even think, that always told me the same thing too, the kind of like how you did. They're like, oh, the first time I met you, like I thought you were going to be a dick, or you were a dick, or blah, blah, blah. Same thing. And then became best friends or like good friends and all that stuff. So it's just because you're like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to hang out around too. It was all because of that.
Right. And there's so many names that come out of, speaking of New York, Crack, obviously rest in peace to Crack. You know, like I remember you would meet people from my vantage point of being a kid first watching and then growing up. I would meet people who were on the show, and it was just so cool to me. Like even years later, I'll still meet somebody who I saw on the show years ago and be like wow, you were on the Round 2 show. Like that was so cool to me, you know? I just think that the impact is underspoken, and I just have so much love for all that stuff, because that was what deeply, if I had to pick 3 things that deeply influenced Got Soul, Round 2 is probably one. You know, when I think about in the sneaker world, what deeply influenced Got Soul, for sure.
We could probably say the same, because I always tell people, like, if we would have tried to open a syndicate in 2016, probably would have failed. We had to, like, learn everything that we learned through Round 2, through Sean, through Chris, through Luke, in order for this to be successful.
Right.
I always tell that to people, like, everything happened for a reason. And even, like, the fallout, like, with Sean, I feel like a lot of people love a villain story, so the fact that he fell off or whatever, it's like they want to push that, but it's just like, bro, no, Sean's still doing his thing in Japan. Like,
bro, you should see in Japan.
Yeah.
They line
like
up. It's crazy.
He's a megastar out there. Yeah.
I saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah, and I get it. I wouldn't want to come back to the States if I'm like that over there, you know? Like, and he's crushing it, but a lot of people want to be like, oh, Round 2 fell off, thank God, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, bro. It's not like that, yeah.
No, but people want to do that in today's internet all the time. It's like, even all this content recently about like where the sneaker game's at and all this stuff. It's like, people want to glorify that type of stuff. And of course, things aren't where they were a year ago or 2 years ago in like, you know, a specific shoe. This shoe's worth less than it was a year ago. That's a fact.
Yeah.
But as far as the narrative, people just want to amplify negativity so much. And one thing that we take a lot of pride in with Got Soul is like trying to stay away from that as much as possible.
Yeah. You're good. Don't worry.
Did the shoe fall?
No, you're good.
Something does.
Yeah, something fell.
I think it was my phone.
Oh, maybe
it could stay down there. Whatever. But either way, people want to amplify negativity so much. And of course, if someone says something negative and they want it to get out there, sometimes there's a guest that's like, hey, I got something I want to push. It's like, okay, like, you know, more power to you. But just in general, I feel like there's not many positive voices in this sneaker, streetwear, pop culture community, because that's like not cool.
Yeah.
You know, but to me, I feel like that's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
You know, like the kid came to Got Soul on Saturday and his dad comes up to me. They're waiting in line in the VIP line. And his dad's like, hey, can I please talk to you for a minute? And he, you know, pulls over. And, you know, I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, hey, you know, my son was in the hospital for months. And I forget specifically what it was. There was some really bad thing, and he was in the hospital for months and months and months. And he said the first thing that he said when he came home was that he wanted to come to Got Soul. And I was like, whoa, you know, like what could we have done on the internet? Like never met this person in real life for them to feel that way. Right? And we took him out of line. We made him cut the line. I gave him all the whole merch drop, him and his pops, you know. And it's like that isn't going to get a bajillion views, but that's the coolest thing to me, you know? And I feel like that negative, going back to the Sean thing, people want to just amplify the negativity, but I feel like we should just put light on the positivity too. And the same thing with the market. People want to say this and that, but there's so much exciting and cool things happening too. You know?
I feel like this year was like one of the best years in sneakers ever, and people don't see it.
I
just
agree.
Because everything's low.
They're just looking at the price. And people say this. I did a video with DP Sneak recently, kind of on the insides of Got Soul and the market. And he's like, oh, what do you think about people saying, you know, reselling is dying or whatever it might be? I'm like, listen, we have 300-400 vendors at every single event, right? And you go up to those people, they're not going to spend $250, $350, whatever it is for a table, travel costs, staff, whatever, if they're not making money. People who say that it's dying or whatever it might be, they just need to adapt their business model.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people who are stuck in the same business model that worked 3 years ago, and that's not going to continue. It's not going to work in 3 years. Right? Nope. So like, there's an analogy they say about hockey. I played hockey growing up. You can't go to where the puck is. You have to go to where it's going. Right? And I feel like a lot of people, it was just so easy at one point to just like easily flip and sell and whatever, but the opportunities are still there. The business models are still there. The amount of people wearing sneakers and wearing streetwear is only going up. Right? Like, okay, there's some people you see on the Playboy Cardi vibe going to Boots or whatever it might be, but like for the most part, like wideness is only continuing to broaden, because you see more people at wedding parties wearing sneakers. You see all these things. Like, just the ability to not have to wear a suit and tie is going away. And what are those people wearing? They might not be wearing, fragment Jordan 1s, but they're down to wear a pair of Solomons or, whatever it might be. And all of that stuff has opportunity. And I just feel like people are focusing on, the Grinch Kobe 6 isn't worth what it was worth a year ago, so things must be dead. But that's just not true.
Yeah. And even for us, I think to us, it's like, damn, it's not $1,000 or more. It's $600-$700. That's sick for us because
it's more affordable.
We feel better selling it for $700 than $1,000.
Right.
You get me? And same thing. It's just like, I don't think the market's dead. It's like you said, we wouldn't be buying shoes every day if we thought the market was dead.
Right.
You just got to adapt. Like I remember when Dunks completely fell off, we had a ton of Dunks. And instead of getting stuck with them, we literally grabbed every pair of like high top Dunks, any college colored Dunk, and we blew it out. Because we're like, you know what, let's just invest in something else.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people didn't do that because you would still go to stores and see like foam runners for 400, Panda Dunks for 400. It's like, bro, like, let them go.
But that's like saying, like people saying, because this shoe's worth this and now they're worth that. That's like saying like, okay, whatever was hot in 2016, let's say the Turtle Doves, right? Turtle Doves were $1,000 shoe, one of the craziest shoes. That's like in 2020 being like, Turtle Doves are worth 300 now or whatever they were worth. Sneakers must be dead. No, people want Jordan 1s now. Then it went Jordan 4s. Then it went Dunks SBs. Now it's they want runners or whatever it might be. Like, just because it's not that hype traditional shoe that made you buy into the fact of being a reseller or a sneakerhead, that has nothing to do with if things are dead or not dead. I just think it's going to continue to grow. So they say, Warren Buffett said, when people are scared, be greedy. And when people are greedy, be scared. So people are scared right now. We're just going to be greedy and continue to grow and double back and invest even more. Like I was talking with Joey and the team and people on the inside about this New York event we're doing. We got Fat Joe and Nigel Sylvester hosting, right? Like from minute one. Yeah. And I'm like, we could have just put the thing out and did it the regular way and, whatever it might be. But I'm like, you know what? I just can't wait for people to see this flyer. Like that's when I get hyped, when I post that flyer and I'm like, for them to see this and for them to think that we were maybe going to crawl back and for us to just double down,
That's gonna be sick.
And so just wait. That's all I'm going to say. Like, let's come back to this, whether it's a year, 2, 5, whatever it might be, when we're all still here and things are even more beautiful and nourishful than ever. And just remember that we said this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. And it's good that having that confidence in your industry is like, not a lot of people have that. And I think that it's, again, like people amplify the negativity and it sucks because for us, we just push like, sneakers are still cool, because at the end of the day, we grew up on sneakers and we saw like every trend pretty much come and go. Like I feel like me and DC can comfortably say we've been buying and selling shoes since 2006. Even though we weren't in a business, we were just doing it as kids, hustling, trying to get the new one because we couldn't afford to get all 10 pairs that came out that year. So we would recycle, buy 2, wear them, show them off, post them on MySpace, then get the new one, sell these. Right. So stuff like that, it's just like, it's all about adapting, how you said. It's just like, you're going to see it come and go. You just got to stay cool.
1,000%. It's all cyclical. It's like in 2008, 2009, 10, real estate's dead. It's never going to, like people are going to continue to wear stuff on their feet until the end of time, unless if they get rid of our feet. I don't think that's going to happen, at least hopefully not in our lifetime. And I just think that that's going to continue to get more and more modernized and it's going to have waves. Anybody who thought that it was going to continuously do this, wasn't a student business in the first place.
Literally what you just said is what Ed told us when we were at Riff.
Really?
Like he literally said, people are always going to want shoes. You just got to adapt to what they want.
Right.
Yeah. And literally, I remember it still sticks to my head that he said that to me. And I was just like, he's right. Like, you just got to adapt. Like, what we were selling in 2011, 2012 isn't the same stuff we're selling in 2025. No. It's
like,
slightly
you think
different.
City and Jordan 1s are going to keep going up? Like, no, that trend is over. Charlie D'Amelio stopped hitting the Renegade. Like, I'm sorry. It's going to continue to change.
Yeah. One thing that I do like about you guys, like a lot, is the way you guys push out content. Like, the same thing, even that, like I always tell people, like when we're around 2, we try to push that. We're like, hey, we need to push out more like TikTok content and all that stuff. And they're like, no, we're good. Like we like the YouTube, it's fine. But you guys, I feel like have completely capitalized on like reels, the celebrity stuff, like and I watch them all the time and I just laugh because like they're good. Like they're literally so good and entertaining. So how does your rollout process come about? Or like,
yeah, I mean, Got Soul, with all the humility in the world, like is the best in the world at sneaker content. I don't think it's close with anybody, and with all the love to everybody out there doing it. There's a lot of people that do it in their vertical, maybe people could argue better than us. There might be people who have their YouTube is better here or their TikTok or whatever. But across channel, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, podcast, TikTok, like we're everywhere in all the different verticals, long form podcast, mid form, sneaker shopping or YouTube, short form clips, photo swipes, every single thing we post, I don't know, across all platforms, maybe 10, 20 times a day. And not just like, with all the respect, not just like, hey, Fear 4 200, like that's not what we're doing. Where every single time is a thought through piece of content, right? And the meetings that Joey and I have are literally hours long of what content are we going to capture at the show, who's going to be capturing what, because we only get 1 day a month to capture content. We're trying to do more out of the show content. Like we were just in Japan and filming a lot of stuff of like the stores and the factories and stuff like that. So we're trying to do more of that. But like in essence, we have 1 day a month to capitalize on all the content we need, where every other business or most every other business has every single day, right? So like the fact that we've been able to all-encompassing capture content and attention the way we have, I think is such a blessing. So it all comes with, like, they say you win Monday on Sunday, the same thing. Like we literally sat down for hours with like when Ben Baller gets there, we have an actual like plan of we're going to take him here, then here, then here, then here. I'm going to ask him this question, then that question, then that. And of course things come naturally, but as far as like, we see something and something happens or a fan comes up or whatever, but like it's all premeditated in the sense of like what type of stuff we're going to get. The nuances change, but we know we want to ask certain things. So yeah, the content thing is the most important thing. And in today's social media, that's another thing. Like people say, Instagram's dead. Yeah. Okay. Like that's just like a stupid thing to say in my opinion, like we're just tripling down on content. Attention is the modern day currency, and we take that like super seriously because one day, that brand and that community and that following is going to be worth more than its weight in gold. And that's just how we think about it.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's smart. Yeah. Everybody's on literally their phone more than anything else. So like if you capitalize on the content, how are you not going to win?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you capture it for 1 day, but you got to roll out 20 clips every day? Who does that for you? Who's the strategy behind that?
So Joey, my business partner, is like the god behind all of our content. He edits almost every single piece. We have like long form editors and stuff like that for more of the longer form stuff, but all the clips is Joey, who's my business partner. He's co-owner, et cetera. And it's been us from the beginning, my best friend. And that kid is an animal. He literally, like right now, we just called him before we did the pod. Like it's Monday morning. We already got out tons of Ben Baller clips. We have all the OGZ clips coming tomorrow. The next day we'll do the P-Rod clips. So we have multiple different filmers and shooters and stuff like that on show day, but it all comes back to Joey for the planning and execution and strategy of all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like I already saw the Ben Baller video, how you like kind of called him out a little. How you say he didn't take it too well?
No, Ben is like honestly a great dude. And he plays up that character. Like there's a lot of people who have come to the show and put on like the PR kind of look, which is cool. But like Ben knows how to get a reaction and he knows how to push, whatever it is that he believes in, like a lot of people filter what they believe in. Ben Baller doesn't do it. Meek Mill doesn't do it. Dennis Rodman doesn't do it. And those types of guests, they just bring out the best content, you know? So yeah, I mean, there's a ton of those we could talk about for sure. Yeah, like
Ben Baller is literally an OG, and I feel like a lot of like this new generation doesn't know that because they weren't there.
Right.
But I just remember Ben Baller posting up all his crazy kicks, and then even like leading up to like when he sold his collection, and same thing. It was like us on a computer being fans of it because we were like sneakerheads. So we're like, oh shit, like this is cool. He has the craziest shit. But a lot of people see these clips and they're like, oh, he's lying. Like,
it's crazy. I literally asked him, I was like, Ben, people say you're lying. What do you have to say? It's like, they're goofies, but it is true. Like all over the internet, all these kids are like, oh, he's lying. Oh, this, that. But like, they really don't know, which is why like it's so important, like to educate that kind of stuff. Cause I feel like when I was coming up, I respected those OGs so much. And maybe just the culture is different now where kids don't respect OGs, which is cool. Like, like I feel like there needs to be their new waves and the whole thing. But, from a respect standpoint, Ben, like actually a legend in this field,
Did he have the first like sneaker crew? Was it him or DJ Clark Kent with the? Because he had Air Max crew.
Yeah, he had AM
with
crew.
AM and Homicide.
Yeah,
And that's how we knew of him, because like he said, they would post like the crazy sneaker collections. And I feel like we had them on the West Coast, and then obviously the East Coast, they had fucking Clark Kent with
ATF.
Rest in peace to
ATF,
Clark Kent.
Yeah.
What a legend.
Yeah, because even like for us, like again, like a lot of people don't know, but when Homicide first came to Riv, we were like, oh shit, it's fucking Homicide. And then when Ben Baller came to Riv, we're like, oh shit, it's fucking Ben Baller. But it's because we were kids, not even fans of them, fans of their sneaker collections.
Right.
Like we're like, yo, these guys have the craziest shit.
It's crazy. Yeah, that whole concept of being a fan of someone's collection.
Yeah, like that. See, like even, that sounds crazy now, but back in the day, that was normal.
Facts, though. Yeah.
Yeah, like.
But that's still a thing up to a certain point. Like Perfect Pair today, you know, like everyone wants Perfect Pair to pull up to the event. And it's because of that collection, you know. But another one, like I'm looking at the poster over there, when we talk about OGs, Jim Jones. Yeah. Another one, like we just had at the show, and obviously he's talking about Chrome Hearts this, Chrome Hearts that, and people are like, oh yeah, you copy Chrome Hearts, but it's like, bro, of course, Chrome Hearts been big forever, but like he did play a role in the 100%. Streetwear community to push it up. But people now, when they're on the phone and they're 18 years old, if they're 30 years old, but they just weren't aware, you know, they think like, oh, he's lying. Yeah. You know, I just think it's really cool how we get the youngest, newest, up and coming, you know, whether it's a streamer, rapper, whatever it might be, but then we get the OGs. Like I love both of that.
Well, that's what streetwear and sneakers is about. It's like you could get everything. Right. You get the new kid coming in, and then the OG. And I feel, but the only thing that I think is different now is like when we were younger, we would like kind of like study it. And I feel like now, since it's all just on your phone, because back then you had to find out where to go get this stuff. Like
it's a pursuit. Yes. Even the shoe. Yeah. Even that was like one of the biggest things back in the day. And like I love what Josh has done with StockX. Like obviously he's not there anymore, but I feel like that played a huge role in commoditizing this whole thing, commercializing it. But prior to that point, it was a pursuit to get a shoe. Mm-hmm. There's no longer a pursuit to get a shoe. If you want a shoe, you know the fair market value and you purchase it, and that's kind of it. Yeah. But for the love of the game, you know, the whole concept of it comes from that concept of like, yo, I really want that Fragment 1. Like, I can't find it. Oh, my boy has it, but like, should I do it? You know, I remember going back to round 2. In round 2 LA, this is 2017, beginning of 2017. So StockX is out, but not big enough yet to really be like the stock market of shoes. And a person comes in and does a trade-in for a pair of Blue Human Races. Mm-hmm. Chris, you know, grabs them, whatever. And I'm just conveniently at the store. I'm like, yo, Chris, can I buy them? He's like, all right, this much. And I'm like, okay, cool. You know, and I took them, but that was so cool to me that I was standing there in that moment and got the shoe for that price. But now that whole concept, like if he got it, I could pull up GOAT used and be like, you know, would this be a good deal or whatever it might be. So yeah, that pursuit, like you're saying, in blog era was a huge thing. So
it's changed so much, but I think like you said, it's changing in a good way because there's more accessibility and more people are doing it. So there's more fans, even though there's like a little bit, there's a lot of haters, but and it gets magnified. But there's so many fans that people don't even talk about. How you said people don't talk about the good; they only talk about the bad.
Yeah, one reseller can make a selfie video saying that their sneaker store is like not doing that well. Yeah. With all the respect to that guy, I don't know him, but I'd like to see if he could adapt his business model. I'm sure that things could, you know, change in a positive direction.
Oh no, you could. You definitely could. You could literally. I feel like in our world, you could change how you do business in a day. Like just switch 100%. It up. Yeah.
You could have someone come in here right now. They might not give you 100% of value, but they could buy every single sneaker right now. No question. I could call 5 different people that will buy everything you have, and you could redo all the shelves and have it with Solomon's and with, you know, New Balance and, you know, Salehi stuff or whatever it might be. You could do that today.
Yeah, that's why when people come and like we work with a lot of people, but again, it's like we don't put it out there like, oh, you know, come. Like they just come. And same thing, like when you guys come into town, we get that the whole week. We're prepping for people coming into town because they're going to come in and be like, hey, if I get 20, 30 pairs, would you work with him? I'm like, yeah, bro, let's figure it out. But it's, again, we don't put it out there, but God Soul weeks are low-key like some of our best weeks.
I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to like bring energy and commerce to so many different people, 100%. Right? Like you guys weren't even selling at the show on Saturday. Obviously helped with the legit checks, which is a lot of love. But as far as selling, you guys weren't selling at the show, but you still monetized off of us being and coming into the city.
100%.
You know, like that happens with the hundreds of different resellers that are at the event. That happens with all the hotels that those people stay at and the Ubers. And like, it's just such a beautiful thing to amplify people's pockets, you know, in a positive direction. And the people who are spending, they're getting a fair deal on this stuff too, right? So like, yeah, it's a beautiful thing to say that like pretty much everybody wins. So that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope to hear.
No, it's even funnier now because we get them like beating each other out. Some of them come the Sunday before because they're like, you guys are gonna have the most stuff here,
Right.
But then somebody else is gonna come on Wednesday. I'm like, hey, bro, they already been here. You know, they already hit us.
No, that's crazy.
Literally, it
Wow.
happens all the time, bro. Like we pay attention to it so much, and like even, fuck, I don't know his name. But he came on Friday, and I was just like, bro, like we're low-key kind of dry now. We got to stock up because everybody hit us the whole week.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
So what? How does like a God Soul week look for you? Like the week before. Like let's say today's Sunday, your event's this Saturday coming up. How does that week?
It changes city per city. When we're going into a new city for the first time, like when we were in Japan just now, you know, I was in Tokyo over a week early, just like shaking hands, meeting people, like trying to get the word out, talking to like new partners in that city, etc. But a lot of the times, like when we already have a following and a community and partners in a city, like for LA, we'll fly in on a Thursday, a million different small errands from like, okay, the team is going to need like snacks, right? Like let's pick up that type of stuff to like, oh, our stuff got shipped in, I need to pick it up. Like just errand stuff Thursday. Friday is the full day setup. People think that that's the thing that just gets set up on Saturday morning. I'm there at 8 a.m. on Friday until like 8, 9 at night sometimes on Friday, getting everything set with the whole team. And then Saturday, I'm there. Another thing, people think like, oh, I'll go. Can I roll with you that morning, or can I get there when you get there? I'm like, yeah, if you want to get there at 6 a.m. You know, I get there 6 a.m. usually, and the full day gone at 9 or 10 at night. You know, people are like, oh, we should get dinner after the event. I'm like, that's so funny for you to say to me. You know, it's like you don't even have any idea
What I just went through.
yeah, like 10 at night. Yeah, come meet me at the late night spot. We went to Fat Sal's Saturday night.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the only options I have after a show. So you want to come meet me at 11 for dinner? Cool. And then Sunday, you know, same kind of thing as Thursday, just the other flip of that. Usually fly out on like a Monday. But yeah, people have no idea how much goes into a business. But I feel like that's anything. You know, I always think people don't know, like it's laughable to me that somebody would ask me to get dinner on Saturday night after the show, but it's because they really don't know.
No,
that's
don't.
the same thing with any business. And I've learned that so much in the last year. Like, you know, they always say like real recognizes real, game respects game. It's the same thing with business. Like anybody who has any sort of success, you have to have at least some sort of baseline respect for them. Like who they are as a human is more important than that. And when you get to know those things, that trumps whatever it is. But as far as from a business level, like anybody with any level of success, you have to have respect for them because you know not what they went through, but that they went through a lot to get to where they're at. You know, so like I always think about that. But yeah, that's what my week looks like.
Yeah, I can agree with that because I feel like even for us, like our industry is still so new. Like it's a super new industry, so people don't get what we're doing.
Right.
Like for us, I'm like, bro, like I wake up at 5 a.m., go to the gym, then get on my phone, start responding to DMs from the store, and then but people are just like, you're just on your phone, and I'm like, trust me, I'm not just on my phone. Like there's so much shit going on. I'm pretty much, at least with us, we're setting up our day. Like we're like, here, you're coming in because you're gonna sell this, you're gonna sell this, you're gonna sell this, because people with us, we're lucky because like our community kind of understands that just DM them. So we kind of know what we're going to get in that day a little bit, not for the most part, but we literally could set up our whole day and then come in, do orders. Like it's us packing everything. Like we don't have a shipment team. Like it's literally us from the floor all the way to the side.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of people don't understand it, but it's cool that you put light on it because it's like if you know, you know. Like we're literally busting our ass the whole day.
Yeah, but that's the beautiful thing. It's like you have to be in love with that. You have to be in love with like fulfilling orders to do this.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of people who, going back to round 2, watch a round 2 video, want to open a sneaker store, and then they see what it's all about and they're gone. Yeah. You know, you have to love this and love, more importantly, like the greater purpose behind what you're doing. You know, not just like, oh, some end goal of I want to make this much money. Like the people who are in this for money, like strictly money, they're gone so quick. Yeah, you know, they're gone in a year or 2 years or whatever it might be. You know, you can, especially in times like this right now, you can see the people who really love this stuff too. You know, and it takes that to do that. Like last night, we're at a storage unit until 8 or 9 at night. You know, and I'm on my literal hands and knees, like trying to wrap a pallet, right, to get it back to Boston. And yeah, it's like that stuff that people would never even imagine about seeing. But I love it. I love it. You have to love every step of it and find gratitude behind all of it too.
No, yeah. To me, at the end of the day, it's all fun. Like at the end of the day, like I love what I'm doing. And a lot of people don't, like, even if some people don't see it, I'm just like, bro, like, it's easy. Like, where was I was in Spain, and I think he was busy, and they called me and they're like, hey, do you want to do this big buyout? And I literally landed from the airport at like 5 or 6, and I told the guy, like, just meet me there at 7. I'll be there. Literally 13-hour flight, Uber straight here, and then met him up, did a buy. Didn't process it that night because I was fucking destroyed. But then I went home. But then a lot of people, again, didn't see that. They didn't see that I had just gone 13-hour flight and landed here.
But then the truth is, like, being very truthful is, like, people don't care.
Yeah.
Like, because you were on this flight and because you're tired and maybe you're sick or something's going on at home, like, that has nothing to do with it says your store is supposed to open at this time, like, it needs to open.
Yeah.
You know, and that discipline and having the humility to know that it's not about you.
Yeah.
I feel like is one of the most important things. Same thing with us. Like, it has nothing to do with, you know, I've had literal death scares in my family or whatever it might be the night before events. Like, one time, without getting into the personal details of it, like, I had to drive from New York we were set up on a show. We were about to go to team dinner, and someone in my family had a health emergency. I had to drive from New York to Boston, get them into the emergency room, process the whole thing, and then back from Boston to New York, got there at like 6 a.m, literally didn't even sleep, went straight to the venue, or might have slept for 20 minutes straight to the venue and do the show and put on, you know, have the smile, have the gratitude, have the humility that I have, but dead exhausted, not even knowing if this person in my family was going to die. But that has nothing to do with the kid whose first time it is that got sold. That has nothing to do with the vendor that was up all night processing their inventory that we said we had vendor doors at 6:30. Like, the door needs to open.
Yep.
100%.
You know, it has nothing to do with it.
Yep.
You know?
That's literally, you hit it on the head perfectly.
Yeah. So.
Another one is, so we were talking about how you have an application process. How do you deal with, like, let's say, fakes and stuff like that at the events?
Yeah, I mean, we have like a strict policy on it. You know, it's like, in today's world, there's so much good fakes where sometimes, like, a vendor will have 300 pairs of shoes on their table, and they might have bought something from someone who they thought was legit, and they had a fake shoe in the cracks. It's numbers, right? Like, the biggest thing is always, like, how do we make that situation right? So, like, if someone had a fake shoe and they can prove that it's fake and that they got it from this person, we're going right to that vendor and we're like, hey, if you don't give this person a full refund right now, put this shoe under the table. You know, if you look at someone's shoe, they got 300, pairs of shoes and they all look good, but this one slipped through. It's like, yo, if you don't give this person this full refund, put this under the table, like, we're not just going to kick you out. Like, we're going to file a full police report, like, go to whatever legal action we need to go to, because that one attendee who bought that one shoe, like, is just as important as to do with 5 tables, you know? So we have authenticators every single show, especially with the AI stuff now. It's gotten even better, which is amazing. Like, we were just in Japan, and they have, like, whole X-ray machines now for, shoes. Like, you can put, it's crazy. It's crazy. Even for Labubus. Like,
you had the X-ray machine at the show, or
no. I'm saying, like, I've seen that stuff, and we want to bring more and more of that stuff to the show, but it's just full, like, no exceptions kind of policy. It's like, and the same thing is, like, if that person doesn't make that right, they're banned forever. Banned forever, whatever legal action it takes. Like, we need to be that strict.
Yeah.
You know, it's that important.
Yeah, it's true, because, I mean, we know it just being around for so long. One bad, like, rep could ruin things because it just lingers for so long.
Right.
Like, and it's crazy because, like, you could do so much good stuff, but
That
you're
one
the
little
one
thing.
thing and it could cook everybody. So that's good that people have that confidence with you guys too, because sometimes you just never know. And people can make mistakes too, or, like you said, 300 pairs, one pair, it happens, you know?
Right. As
So,
long as you make it right. People in this sneaker community, or a lot of the resellers, like, it appalls me sometimes when people just don't understand those business principles. Like, they're really willing to lose a deal over $10. Like, that is crazy to me.
Yeah,
you know?
people get so mad now. Like, for example, this just happened this past couple weeks. You know, vans are really hot right now, and we low-key been getting blessed. Like, people been bringing in their crazy vans to us because they trust us. You know,
Right.
like, they know we're not gonna say anything, where you get it from, blah blah blah. It's just like, and we post them, first come first serve. You know, you buy it online, we ship it out, whatever. And people, like, literally a ton of, like, resellers have hit us up, and they're getting mad because we sold them. It's like, bro, we're a shoe store. Like, what do you expect us to do? Like, and even just that principle is, like, you're really willing to lose a, like, business relationship because we didn't sell you the shoe. And it's just like,
It's crazy.
But it happens a lot. Like, I've seen it through the years, like, people that were at the top do one deal sour over $5 and they're done.
Yeah, but as they should be.
Yeah.
I have no empathy for that. You know, it's like, those business principles are so important. And especially one thing with sneakers that's a beautiful thing is it's like an entryway into business for a lot of people.
100%.
You know, like people start by reselling sneakers or clothes or camping out in the Supreme line. Like, oh, Jeezy's talking on Saturdays. Like, yo, I used to, you know, camp out in the Supreme line. Now he's one of the hottest West Coast rappers, right? So like you see all these things of ways of people getting into business. So if you don't stay fundamental on those business principles with sneakers, what's going to happen in 20 years from now when the stakes are even higher for them, right? So like I have no empathy for people who do bad business at all.
No, yeah.
No empathy.
That's literally like at least one of our like core values is like just always be right or make it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have to. Like at the end of the day, like if you make a killing on one shoe after you said you were gonna sell it for this much, it's just like, bro, that one shoe, oh wow, you didn't make $1 million, you didn't make life-changing money over that one shoe. It's just like, just keep it going.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of resellers now, they think that one shoe is gonna be life-changing, and it might for some, but it's just like, no, it's not, bro. I'd rather keep making that steady profit every day.
It's the people who understand that who are in a shop like this and growing and building a community. It's the dude who like has such a love over the fact that he's never lost a buck on a shoe that is a one table guy at our show with all the love and respect to him, as opposed to they could build their way up to a 2, 3, or they don't even have a table. You know, like it's a lot of the people who don't want to lose $5 who can't even like build their business into getting a vendor table. You know, like they're just coming in, trying to bring in 7 pairs. Oh, my bad. Trying to bring in 7 pairs of shoes and carry them all because they're, you know, they're essentially just don't understand the business principles of like, oh, why would I spend $250 on a table when I could spend $35 on a ticket and try to carry stuff in? It's like, okay, like if you go by that principle, like you're just forever never going to make it, if that makes sense. Like, and you just see a lot of that because it is. And I think the reason you see so much of that in sneakers is because it is people's entry level to business. You know, a lot of people, it's a low lift way to get into making $1, which is a beautiful thing. But yeah, I think the business principles is something overlooked in the community for sure.
Yeah, that it's insane. Like, trust me, like we learn something new every fucking day here. Like we're just like, bro, like over that, like we'll literally talk to each other and be like, bro, this person got butthurt over that. It's just like, and I'm just standing on business. Right. It's kind of like the dude with the Meek Mill video.
That's right. That? Yeah, the Meek Mill thing. Well, first I'll say like, and we can talk about all the celebrity stuff if you want. I'd say Meek Mill is. Joey and I were talking about this the other day. When we talk about all encompassing, Meek Mill might be the GOAT sneaker guest, like of all time, for Got Soul. He's come 3 times, right? Not like a formal appearance or anything, just kind of walking through the door. And every time it's a moment, you know? And people see the clips online, but like the way that man runs through the show, it's herds of people like following him through the event and just like excited about and the energy he brings. And that moment, it's crazy because we knew what that moment would do. Yeah. So like that SB4 clip for the Pine Greens where he says like, oh, you want 500? I'm gonna give you 500, you know? And people are like, oh yeah, he should stand on business for the price or whatever it might be. But then people have the opinion on the other side of like, no, it's you want to build a celebrity business or clientele and you never know what a relationship's worth. A relationship's worth a lot more than the difference. They're both right, you know, in their own way. But once that moment happened, Joey literally said, the whole business is about to change. Like we're about to take over the internet. And we literally tens of millions of views, I'm sure, over different platforms and just conversations. All people having podcasts like this talking about it. Was he right? Was he wrong? And Meek is just such an interesting guy and such a great dude, honestly. Like even off camera, like we've had so many conversations. Like he truly does not care what people think. And there's a lot of celebrities that all they do is care about what people think. And Meek doesn't care at all. I can say that for sure. But that moment specifically, I will never forget. We didn't even know that Meek was coming to the event that day.
Oh, he just pulled up.
We didn't know Meek was coming. Meek walked in the back door. Obviously, he's Meek Mill, so any security guard's just going to let him walk in. Meek walked in the back door of the event and just started walking through. I knew like 20 minutes before that like the person who got him there was like, hey, Meek's going to come. And I'm like, okay, you know. And we were with Fabio Foreign filming a video, right? And Meek showed up during that time, and I had to tell Fabio, like, hey, Fabio, all love, thanks for coming, you know? and all love to Fabio, you know? But I had to tell him, like, you know, we got to move on, you know? and we started running, like literally running through the venue. And Meek was only in there for like 20 seconds. He didn't want to wait. You know, he just walked in and he already starts getting bombarded. And he got all kind of, you know, pissed off. He wanted to leave. And I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, stay, you know. And we brought him to the back room and we didn't even know each other. And I, you know, kind of just gave him my story and really kind of spit game on like, this is why we're here. This is what we do. Like, I started this thing out of a trailer, you know, the whole thing. And we want to create a moment here. And he's like, I'm going to let you record me. And I'm like, okay, like we're going to record you. And we walk around and that happened,
Yeah.
you know?
I think that, I mean, that's why it happened, because it was so natural. Like everything happened so natural. And then that, I'm telling you, when I saw that clip, I literally laughed because I was like, bro, this is so good. Like this is like the content that like the internet needs.
Right.
Like even just like kind of dealing with Meek Mill, because I dealt with him a couple of times when I was working with District 1. And I was just like, bro, I could literally see all this happening. Like it was so good. And then just seeing, I always like going into the comments. The comments, bro, they're just people fighting.
Oh yeah, both sides.
Yeah, literally,
Both sides.
that's my favorite part. Like I never chime in or nothing. I just look and I'm just like, bro, these comments are gold.
One thing I'll say though, and I think about this a lot when it comes to the negative comments, it's like all the love. Listen, people can comment and say negative stuff about me right now in this video if you want, but like really think about it. If you're gonna leave a negative comment on the internet about somebody you've never even met in your life, what does that say about you?
Yeah.
True.
To me, you have to be a dweeb to like go on the internet and start saying, oh, this about this celebrity, this about that. It's like, what are you doing in your life where like you need to put negative energy out and start hating on somebody? And to be honest, I really feel bad for those people because it just means that they don't have a confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
Like that really is what it means. You know, it's one thing to leave a funny comment, but people who are like really mad, or like really coming at someone's character who they've never met a day in their life and they got no profile picture, you know, or whatever it is, like, or not a post on their page. You just got to feel bad for those people. But yeah, the Meek Mill comment section every single time.
Oh yeah, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah, like the comment section is crazy because again, some people don't even know what they're commenting about. Like for example, we got the craziest comment I think we've ever gotten here was we posted souvenir vans for $500, which is a fair price, the original one. And somebody was just like, "What the fuck? You guys are making so much money. 110. I hope you guys unalive slow." And we're just like, "What?"
It's crazy. It's crazy because they don't know that you probably paid $420,
$350, $400, whatever we pay to make $100. But again, we're not gonna go on there and explain ourselves. We're just gonna let it rock,
bro.
But I'm just like they think that we went to Vans, got it for 110, and marked it up, and it's just like, bro, that's not the way we do business here.
It's crazy, but it's like you got to feel bad for those people. But it's the same thing with all the different celebrities. There's always something that people disagree with. Like, you know, Ben Affleck telling his son, like, "Oh, you got to mow more lawns." People are like, "Oh, he's a multimillionaire. Like, he should just let his kid have it. Like, what do you make the money for?" But then there's people who are like, "No, like that's right. Teach him the disciplines." But it's two flips to every coin. You know, every celebrity moment we've had, like there's two flips to every coin.
No, there is, and it's good. Like, I think it's great. Like, even Ben Affleck, like, you guys getting him, to me, I thought that was, like, cooler than Meek Mill. Like, I was just like, oh, six.
Affleck was crazy, especially being from Boston. The story about Affleck, another thing, we didn't know he was going to show up until a week before the event. We had just had, we just announced that DDG was hosting that event. Shout out to DDG, really good dude, too. But, I was at a Jaylen Brown like invite-only party. We were at this party, and I got an email from Ben Affleck's assistant, just to the contact email. Like, not even like, they were like, "Hi, like this is Ben Affleck's assistant. Like, we just purchased tickets for the event. Like, all we're just requesting is, can you please accommodate parking?"
Oh shit!
That's
you know?
sick.
And I'm like, yeah, like we could definitely accommodate parking.
We got
you know, for
100%.
Ben Affleck. No worries, you know. And my favorite movie or second favorite movie ever is The Town. You know, Ben Affleck movie.
Classic.
My mom is from Charlestown. You know, like where she grew up, the project she grew up in is in the background of the movie. You know, like it's crazy. We're Boston through and through.
Yeah.
And I remember I told my parents, and they like pretty much cried. You know, like couldn't believe it. Like we have pictures of us four and Ben like all over my house now. You know, but Ben was like the coolest dude. He really, really was. It's meeting the amount of talent that we've met and the celebrities we've met. They always say like, don't meet your idols. And not that these people were idols to me, but you meet talent and then you have a whole different look at how they are. And that's happened with some talent. I've met them and they've come to the show and I'm like, wow, like I'll never listen to their music the same, you know? But there's been so many where I love them even more, you know? Because
like
they've just been so cool.
Like a favorite moment with a specific one, or?
Ooh, a favorite celebrity moment.
Yeah, like when you're like, damn, I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah.
Bro, it might be the Meek Mill stuff, but like I remember the second time we had built such a rapport, me and Meek, and he put the Dream Chaser chain on me. It's like got the Dream Chaser with like a feather on it. And I'm like, bro, if 14-year-old me knew this, like I was the biggest Meek Mill fan ever. Like I used to listen to it before every game. Like so that was super cool. I'm trying to think like what are the other favorite ones? I mean the Affleck one sticks out for sure. I have a list. Can I see my phone? I'll give you a list because I think people don't really realize how many different guests we've actually had.
No,
So-
you guys have a ton.
Yeah, you guys have multiple guests every show too.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
so
like-
this list right here, if you could see it, this is a list of all of the celebrities who have ever come to Got Soul. And these are all people who are like maybe 1 million plus followers at least.
Jeez.
You know, so like going through these, I mean, Ben Affleck, obviously, Rodman, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Actually insane.
Yeah.
That man right there, and all the love to Dennis in the world, he gets it and he understands content and the
Yeah.
camera more than anybody. Like, he has it. I'll never forget Dennis Rodman, right? We're behind, we're in Chicago on the loading dock, and he lives in Houston. And they had just had a hurricane or like something really bad had happened. And I'm like, oh, Dennis, what's going on? This is the second time. So we'd already had a rapport. Yeah. And he's like, oh, man, you know, the hurricane's got me. I'm just happy I'm here, you know. But he's like kind of like more tone, you know. Like, and I look at him, I go, you ready? Because he knows what's about to happen. He called out Travis Scott with a backward swoosh the time before that. So he knows what's about to happen. And I go, Dennis, you ready? And he goes, all right, yeah. What's going on, everybody? Dennis Rodman here at Got Soul. And, you know, we're here and, you know, whatever. And he
Just turned it on.
turned it on.
Yeah.
There's no one that could turn it on and that understands it more than him. I'll never forget that moment, the Travis Scott moment where Dennis looks at the camera and he says, Travis Scott, you copied me, the backward swoosh. And my jaw actually dropped, right? And I will never, ever, ever forget he had like multiple different things. He said like something about him and Madonna in bed. And there's all sorts of like crazy things he had said, something about Michael Jordan and his relationship. And I thought that this was all off the cuff, which it definitely was. However, I'll never forget talking with like his agent or whatever it was after. And I forget the exact moments of the conversation where basically like he knew what he was doing. He didn't know what he was going to say, but he knew that he wanted to generate a moment. And I thought he was just coming and just doing a walkthrough and meeting fans, but like, no. Like, I remember he picked up that shoe, took like a second, and then he's like, Travis Scott, you copied me. I started the backward swoosh. And I'm thinking it's all just like natural, but it's like, no.
He wanted
He knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
So
the whole time.
Rodman's one. Bronny James. Yeah. That's another one. Bronny James showed up to the event, didn't know he was coming either. I remember I went to some of the Sierra Canyon games where he went to high school, and I just invited some of his boys, like, yo, like pull up, you know, whatever. And they're like, yeah, we're pulling up. And I remember they came up the escalator, and I started dapping them all up, like, yo, what's good, what's good, what's good? And Bronny's the last person in the pack. I'm like, oh, what's up, Bronny? And he comes in and does a free throw contest and loses his shoes in a free throw contest. You know, and he was the coolest kid ever. Bronny, that's another one. Lil Yachty, that's another good story. We're just rapid fire right now, but Lil Yachty, we had tried to get him so long to come to the event, and it was actually his mom that had made it happen. And the night before the show, she calls me and she's like, okay, he's gonna show up tomorrow. And me and Joey were in the hotel room. We started like punching each other, you know, like, no way, like, Yachty's coming. And this is like when we first time ever going to Atlanta for the show. And I'll never forget him walking in. And another thing, though, that's kind of a blessing and a curse with all the talent that we've gotten is now when we get talent, people just expect the biggest and the best every time. Like, we'll never forget, we came in with Lil Yachty as a surprise guest, right? And people coming up to me like, yo, is Lil Baby coming? Like, is Kai Cenat coming? And I'm like, bro, what? You got Lil Yachty right here, you know? But Yachty was super cool. Oh my God. I mean, I'll rap fire, read them off. Jaylen Brown, Mike Vick, Don Tolliver, Rick Ross, Meek Mill, Chance the Rapper, PJ Tucker. I mean, every single time. That guy is a madman. He has just so many different, so much heat. It's insane. DaBaby, Polo G, A Boogie, Antonio Brown, Soulja Boy, Wale. Wale is a good one. That dude, sneaker legend. Like, just
1000%.
so many good stories. So much stuff that he's told me off camera. He's like, you can't say this on camera, but he's just a legend. He's a legend. I mean, there's so many. Stephon Diggs, Sheck West, Rich the Kid, Nav, Big X, G Herbo, DDG. DDG's a good one. Waka Flocka. Waka Flocka might be the coolest celebrity of any celebrity we've had off camera. He's like the man. I mean, there's like 100 more. But
you know the funny thing about the Waka, that clip that you guys had?
Which one?
That's like one of our good friends with Flash.
The
The cactus plant.
Yeah,
He's
Flash,
like, he put me on, blah, 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 bro. And then when he came in, because it's like Flash is Flash. That's all the best, the only thing I could say about him. And as soon as we came in, me and him knew, like, let's start playing with him. Like, let's start gassing him up.
Oh, my God, yeah.
But it was so funny when we saw the video because we're like, oh, shit, that's fucking Flash.
Right. Well, now, like, the Got Soul clips and moments have actually made, like, micro celebrities out of different people, too.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's this kid, Leaf. He's like a little kid, like he paints sneakers.
Yeah.
And we have one video of his that like went viral, like millions of views of like this little, I don't know, he was 12 years old or however old he was, like painting sneakers at his table and selling them. And I forget what the difference was. He's like, I had 3,000 followers. He came up to me Saturday at the show because it was an LA event. He's like, I had 3,000 followers and that got me to, I don't know if it was 18 or whatever crazy amount. And he's like, I have a whole business now because of that one video that you guys made. You know, and
That's
it's like,
yeah,
it's insane. Like even this dude, Jim Jones, had said this guy, Jimbo Slice. He said this guy's got more sneakers than the whole entire event together. I'm like, that's cap, you know. But he gained like 10,000 followers, or whatever, off of like we didn't even tag him. We didn't know who he was.
They just want to go look for him.
Yeah, people went and looked. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like it's crazy how content can do that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and content can like forever change how we all see a talent. Like there's millions of people in the sneaker community that like Meek Mill, they're never gonna forget that moment. You know, the next time they watch a Ben Affleck movie, they're gonna be like, "Wow, I can't believe." Remember at Got Soul when he, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and I always tell the talent backstage on Saturday. I told them, I was like, "Listen, people ask like why we've gone so deep into getting celebrities and talent at the show and the whole thing." For example, with OGZ on Saturday, we're backstage in the loading dock, and I said, "Listen, why are you here? Right? Like, why do we want you here? Why have we gone through whatever lengths to have you here?" There are so many different places that people can buy and sell sneakers in today's landscape. They could come here. They could go on Melrose. They could go 100 different stores. They can go on the apps on their phone.
Yep.
It's like, why do they come to Got Soul? Why? Why do they take time out of their day? Why do they buy a ticket, drive there, park? And it's for that experience.
Yeah.
100%.
It's number one for the human to human that like we don't get anymore in our hand, you know? But number two, for the experience. And it's like for that time where they're going to be like, yo, you remember when OGZ just like came up to our table and started like shopping from our stuff or like whatever it might be, you know? And it's like, that is the most important thing. Experience trumps all. And yeah, I just think it's so important and something we want to just like triple down on. But the celebrity stuff has like changed God's soul.
Yeah.
The homie Shoes and Brews, he was here on Sunday, and he was like so hyped that he got best table. Like, bro, it made his whole week. Like, he was just super.
He DM'd the store so happy.
He was so happy. Like, yo, like I had the best table. Like they told me, and like even just like you guys bringing in like Paul and Ben over there, and like, bro, he was just like literally like he was the happiest dude I've seen in so long. Like it was so sick.
How beautiful is that, man? It's funny because Shoes and Brews, Noah, his son, we had a viral video with him the event before. He had these like pins he was making. And now it's like the next event, his dad and him, you know, have 4 tables at the event and like they win best table. So it's like so cool to see people progress too in the sneaker community and to just have like a platform to excel people in doing that.
100%.
Because I feel like a lot of people think if they win, the other person has to lose and on a deal or whatever it might be. And it's like the fact that we could just win every single time and everyone could win with us is like the most beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, people like your average like viewer might think, oh, it's just another sneaker event, but people really take it serious. And you know, you could have a life-changing moment at one of these events just by a clip. Literally, a clip can change your life.
And like we know that we're the best in the world at what we do. We know Got Soul is the best event on earth. Like I'll say that 1,000%. And I wouldn't have said that publicly on camera 2-3 years ago. And it's just because of the energy in the community that we've led first with. Like Got Soul is the community.
Yeah, that's good.
Period. You know, there's other events out there and all the love and respect to them. And, you know, we know that there's people out there that have helped pave a way, you know, but today, Got Soul is the community and we put that first. There's nothing more important to us than that community and those experiences because there are so many different places you could buy, sell, and trade shoes. So like why come to Got Soul? Our moat, our difference is the community and is the fact that we want to bring everybody together and bring an experience and nobody else leads that way. That's sorry,
good.
They just don't.
That's good. What's one celebrity that you would like? You're like, I want to work with this person. Like,
Kanye. Yeah, Kanye. And that's another one. We could talk about that. Of course, Kanye has done a million things wrong. There's a million things that he said the wrong way, did the wrong way, etc. But the impact that man has had on sneakers is undeniable. There's nothing that you could say to change my mind about that. We would all not be in this specific moment without him. And when I was a 16-year-old kid, he taught me to believe in myself like nobody else ever did. You know, they say if you're a fan of Kanye West, you're not a fan of him, you're a fan of yourself. And I believe that. You know, I think that, like I said, there's been a million things he's done wrong, but he is a heavy influence. Him and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for those two, I don't think the sneaker industry would be anywhere close to where it's at. So I'll say Kanye, Trav, Drake, I think are like the 3 big ones. Well, Michael Jordan above all. But as far as like ones who I really think, and who knows, I think all those people, I've met a couple, I've met Drake, met Travis, we've talked about it, you know, and maybe that'll all happen. But as far as like in the near future, ones that I think could be super cool, and would love to hear you guys' feedback too, but 50 Cent is one I think about a ton.
Yeah.
A$AP Rocky is another one that I think about. Spike Lee. Allen Iverson. Those are a few of the ones. I'd love to hear who you guys think about. Anyone who you could think of like would be really cool.
Maybe just because he does a lot of like content and stuff like that now, maybe Shaq.
Shaq would be sick.
I feel like he would do really good in like at God Soul.
Right.
Like just thinking about who he is as a person at the event, I think Shaq would be cool.
Right.
I think Allen Iverson would be great. Rocky would be great.
Even just right now that he's in sneaker agency, like free agency, Curry, I think would be sick.
Steph.
Yeah,
that would be
fucking
sick.
Awesome. So.
Like have him go shopping for shoes, that'd be insane.
Yeah,
because he can, and he could do it publicly. You know, like
do whatever. Yeah. And like he's been wearing a lot of cool shit. So
yeah.
Like,
you guys have anybody you think that would be cool?
Did you like to see?
Kanye.
You know who would be cool? Just because I've seen him on Complex side, Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
Oh,
would be
that
sick.
would. Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
We talked with Floyd at one point. Who knows if that'll happen? I think that would be sick.
Yeah.
Kai is another one I think about. Speed. You know,
Speed
those guys are like, bro. We've had a lot of celebrities at our events. We've had a lot of celebrities. Nobody gets followed around the way these streamers do.
No, they don't.
1,000%.
Bro, DDG, you saw the chat in real life.
Yeah.
You know, like literally, and Ben Affleck, one of the biggest moments on the internet we've ever had. But the actual spectacle that day, it was the same It was the same day, DDG and Ben Affleck. And it's hard to know when I'm the one getting filmed and orchestrating, but it feels like the spectacle of kids in the event that day was crazier for DDG than Ben Affleck.
Yeah, makes sense.
Obviously, Ben Affleck
believable.
100 times more famous. The clips did 100 times bigger, the whole thing. But real life kids, you know, sneaker market,
Yeah.
DDG.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I feel like if Dana
Dana,
White
I
would
talked
be
with him
cool.
about it. That would be sick. Yeah. We've tried to work on that. That would be sick.
I feel like if you guys announce Speed, it would be insane.
Yeah. That's another thing that's
Yeah.
kind of annoying is like there's certain people who are just so big, like you can't promote them or announce them.
He has to show up.
Yeah, they have to just show up.
Yeah.
You know? I wish you can't put Speed on a flyer. Like if we say Speed's coming, they're going to shut the event down.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's not like, obviously you guys will sell out, but the kid's just trying to get in because he's around.
Right.
Or like wait for him outside. It'll be insane.
It'll be mayhem.
Yeah. Right. I think that'd be great if you guys get one of those guys. And I'm pretty confident you guys are going to get somebody like that soon.
No,
the way you guys
100%.
are going, like, yeah. 100%.
We're just going to keep pushing.
Yeah.
Like that's our whole thing. Like Got Soul at its core is a storytelling business and a community business. You know, like we tell the best stories on earth, and the story all comes back to 2 kids whose house burnt down, who were living in a trailer, and started this at 14 and 16 years old with me and Joey. You know, we started our first event in an old church with 200 people there, right? Yeah. And we didn't take an investor. We don't have any business backer. My parents come to every single show. They're a carpenter and bartender by trade. They're not some business mogul or something like that. And the story of those 2 kids who started that thing in the church, how far can they go? It's like this little light of mine, like how far can it shine? And that's what I think about all the time. And every single month is a new story to tell, you know, going from Tokyo to LA, next month to New York, and to keep going through that. And so like, we just want to keep telling the best stories, and like that will compound on itself. And the beautiful thing is these talent want to be a part of that story now, which is like so cool.
Yeah.
You know? So I know it's going to continue to happen. We're just going to keep pushing. Yeah. You know, as people get fearful in this market, it only makes us excited because just let us just keep running. Like we're not going anywhere.
That's
Bringing
good.
up international, do you have any other place outside of the country that you'd want to go to?
For sure. We kind of thought of Tokyo, and Tokyo needs a ton of flowers.
Yeah,
like,
it's fucking amazing out there.
That changed my life going out there. Before we had even done the event, like when we had started to scout it, looking at Tokyo, it changed my life because it showed me just the pure love and appreciation that people internationally have for American culture.
1,000%,
Like, I will never forget walking into Supreme in Shanghai and they had Love No Thotties by Chief Keef on. And these dudes are in the store bumping their head. And I'm like, you don't even understand the words to the song. Like when I was 16, I was listening to this song, and it's like this song and this man had this influence on culture. You don't even understand, but you love it.
Yeah.
And the fact that these people, I say there's 3 types of people in the world, right? There's people who watch things happen. There's people who make things happen. And there's people who wonder what happened, right? And we are people who make things happen. You guys are people who make things happen. The majority of people probably watch things happen. Some people are out of the loop and they wonder what happened, right? And with the internet and with globalization, right? People who are internationally, especially in a China or a Japan, have, prior to social media, just wondered what happened, right? And all they want, of course, they have a desire to make things happen. However, to make things happen at the biggest scale in pop culture, at least in American pop culture, you kind of have to be in America. Or there's people outside of America that have done it, but it's a big difference in making things happen. But the only desire they have is to just watch things happen. Like they just want to be a part of it. They just want to watch it and feel it, right? Yeah. And so how blessed are we to be sitting here in LA right now and be in the shoes of people who could make things happen? And when I went there and I walked into, a thrift store in Tokyo and they're playing Kiss Me Through the Phone, it's like, Soulja Boy's my friend. I could call him right now. He's been to the event, and these dudes are listening to the song from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And we could make that happen.
Yeah.
We were talking about bringing Soulja to Tokyo. How cool is that? So the love that they have for this stuff and the care they take of their sneakers, and they really love it. The love of the game is deeper than anything. So we thought of Tokyo. When I went there with Joey, we were like, this has to be the first city. We could go to London. We could go to, and we want to do London soon. We want to go to Paris soon. We want to go to, Africa. We want to go everywhere. Of course. But we could have went to Toronto. The analogy I had is like, if we had went to Toronto the first time out of the U.S. and said we're international, that would have been cheating. It would have been like leaving Boston for Providence and being like, oh, we expanded. Nobody would have cared. We wanted to do the biggest jump and go to Tokyo. But yeah, I think London, Paris, Milan, I don't know, Cape Town, South Africa, like people all over the world. We talk about the sneaker market. The sneaker market continues to broaden. We have people every day, you guys probably do too, from India who are DMing us like sneakers. Like, I want sneakers, and it's like, bro, across the world, it's going to continue to grow. So, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like all those cities you named would be really good.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next for Godsoul? Like,
what's next? I think it's just doubling down on everything we do now and just bigger and better and more exciting content. We want to continue to double down on the content, do more there, do more even outside of the events, and just expand this thing around the world. We made this T-shirt in 2016 that had Boston Got Soul in all different languages on it with a globe when we were still throwing events in a church. Yeah. And now we're starting to make that come true, where we had a dude wait in line since 9:30 the night before to get into the Tokyo event. Sure. And so it's like seeing people get that excited in a world where people live here in their palm and don't get excited about anything, and in the sneaker market where people are too cool to be excited. We just want to make people excited. And we want to expand this thing around the world, from Tokyo to London to Africa to South America, to New York to Boston, whatever it might be. And just continue to, we don't do this for money. We really don't. We just do this for the love, and just to continue to build that love and spread it around the world, and honestly just see where it takes us. And the market's going to change, and it's going to be more streetwear or more vintage or more whatever it is, but just to double down on the community and the experience, so that 50 years from now, we can look back and be like, we did everything we wanted to do. So just bring it around the world and double down on the experience.
Yep.
Sick.
What's it called? It's funny because you always ask people this question. I don't know how I went viral, but it's the Panda Dunks. I always wanted to ask about that. You ask a lot of the guests would you wear Panda Dunks.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like people frowning upon that shoe?
So interesting. I feel like it's almost so much now. The shoe it's a fine shoe, like I have a pair in my closet. I haven't worn it in a while, but I have it. But I just feel like people are so like, they don't think for themselves sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like now we even have notes for Gigi, who does those interviews, or other people if they're doing the interview, where when we ask people the question, what's the worst sneaker of all time? If they say Pandas, to ask them for another answer. Like we don't want them to say Pandas because it's just, I don't know. It's such like, I don't want to say a bot answer, but it's like, it's so like just easy, you know, like where it's like, if you actually think about it, there's shoes that are way, way, way worse.
It's like
you
saying
know?
a white on white Air Force One.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
but also I feel like people exaggerate that, where people are like, the white Air Forces is the greatest, you know, whatever. I have 600 pairs, you know, every week they bring me a freight shipment of another 100, you know, it's like.
To me, when people say the Panda, like as like the bot answer, I'm always like, bro, like you're wearing a big red boot. Like literally, like I'll literally look at that like kind of make it make sense. And to me, that's always a question that I always laugh, because I'm just like, why does this shoe get so much hate when it first retroed? It was a $400 or $500 shoe that everybody wanted.
Killing it. It was killing it. Yeah. So yeah, the Panda thing is funny. The Panda thing is funny, but people really do feel that way. You know, our job is not to tell people what to think. It's just to show people what people think.
Yeah. Because I saw the OGZ one, and he's just like, man, I'd wear one. And I was just like, bro, it's so funny because, like, if you gave me, like, big red boot Panda, I'd be like, Panda, 100%. Like,
no question.
No question.
I'd wear Pandas over, there's hundreds of different shoes you can show me. I'd rather wear a Panda.
Yeah.
You know? But it's not the first 50, 100, 200 pairs of shoes I'd want to wear. Yeah. You know? But, people...
The Panda hate to me is just so funny because it's like, it's literally like a thing. Like, it's almost like its own.
But we made it a thing. I don't care what anybody says. Like, we have videos with 50 million views, you know, like that we had that started that narrative. Of course, people brought in the narrative, but like, I know for a fact that we introduced that narrative to the culture. And there's so many different things where we try to have humility, you know, but we know that we introduced that into the community. Like, one thing is like the coin flips, coin flips in the sneaker world. And I'll give respect where respect's due. I got that from the watch community. I got that from Vukum and Moses. You know, and those are both friends of mine and people who we've had at the show. I got this from Vukum, you know? So, like, I saw what they were doing, and I'll never forget. I said to Joey, I was like, yo, what if we had people do coin flips at the event? Like, and he's like, oh, that would be cool. Not that people weren't 50 years ago, I'm sure, flipping a coin, but, like, as far as popularizing it, like, I know that we did that, you know, in sneaker content. Like, so many different things that we did over time where it's just cool to see it.
I always lose. I always lose. Every time somebody comes in here, I don't even do them no more because I literally always lose.
Bro, people think our coin's rigged. We got a Got Soul coin. It's Got Soul on one side, Best Event on Earth on the other side, and people think it's Got Soul every time until I flip the thing and it's, you know, the other side. You know, people think the thing's rigged. Like,
what's the biggest L you've seen on a flip that you're just like, fuck, I can't believe that person, or I lost?
Like, Joey would be better to answer that, but there's like ones in the thousands of dollars.
Like, I actually have one for you. Some guy on Saturday brought a legit check. He won a UNCL Fight 1 for free, brand new. And he was like,
legit?
It was legit. He was like, hey, like, I won this in a coin flip. Can you make sure that it's legit? Because if not, like, I need something else. And I was like, yeah, I got you. No question. 1,000% legit. I was like, what'd you get it for? He was like, I got it for free. It was double or nothing.
What was he going to pay?
That I didn't ask. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it was double or nothing, and he was like, "Yeah, I won." And the guy was sick, but I mean, he kept his word. Yeah,
that's crazy.
But there you go,
bro. I do it for merch now. If you're watching this, and you want to flip for merch, like the tees are like $50, we'll do 100 or 0. We'll do it all day, and I've lost like every single time. You know, I just blame the guy Junie who runs a merch booth. I'm like, bro, you're not lucky. We need somebody else to do it.
Yeah, I feel like for us, they now they know because we rarely do them, but when we do, I always lose, and they're always on camera. So kids come in and they're like, "Yo, this flipper." I'm like, "No, bro, no, no, 100% no." Like I always lose. So.
Yeah, the coin flip thing is cool. Yeah, it's just like you try to find a way to make it fun.
Yeah.
See, and that's a good thing. It's like the Panda thing. It's hate, but you're making it fun. Like you're making it cool. The coin flips, it's just like, bro, like it's cool that you brought it from Moses to the sneaker world. It's just like it's nice, you know, like it's all a game, you know. Like,
yeah, and we're always looking at it like, what's that next thing gonna be, you know, like who knows what it will be, but we just want to make it fun and get people excited. I think that's the number one thing, especially in today's world. People do not get excited anymore. You know, we have so much dopamine hits like every single second in our hand, and people don't get excited. We just want to make people excited. That's the biggest thing, and keep a positive energy and attitude while doing it.
Great way to be. What is your favorite event you've ever done? Like that you're just like, okay, this one stood out to me, and you're like, because there's like moments for us that we have where like we always talk about this moment. For you, what's that with God Soul?
There's 3 I can think of, and it's like the first. I feel like it's always a first. Yeah. So like the first time we went to New York, we threw an event in this old warehouse that was getting turned into a basketball facility, and we rented it like 2 months before they even had a floor.
Oh,
and the guy's like, yo, we're going to have a floor, I promise. Right. And I'll never forget showing up the day before the event or 2 days before the event, whatever it was, when I pulled up to New York, and they still didn't have like the walls all the way done or like whatever it was. They didn't have bathrooms. We ended up having to use porta potties, you know. I was going every single week in that month or 2 months of promo. Every single week I was skipping class in college. Joey was picking me up in Boston. We were driving from Boston to New York to hand out flyers in the Supreme line. I would be at Supreme in Manhattan. He would be at Supreme in Brooklyn. We'd have to like mush the security to make sure that they didn't kick us offline. You know, we just hand out flyers to everybody. So like we thought that was going to be 200 people like our first time in Boston, and it was 2,000. You know, so that first time in New York and saying, wow, like we should bring this thing around the world. That first LA we did, same kind of feeling. And Bronny shows up and, you know, all this crazy stuff happens. And then the first time in Tokyo, I'd say those three. Or actually a fourth one I'll say is the Boston event that we did this year. We had Jaylen Brown host, and obviously just like Celtics NBA Finals MVP, and the look that those kids had of how excited they were, it had a tear in my eye. Because the ability to bring a city like Boston that doesn't have all the streetwear sneaker moments to it. Of course, there's a lot of sneaker history. I'll say that right now. Shout out Concepts, Bodega, all the different HQs that are in Boston. But either way, that don't have that many like aftermarket, you know, resell kind of exciting moments in it. To have kids like screaming their hearts out to want to meet Jaylen and to, you know, for them to sign a shoe or whatever. Like it had a tear in my eye during the event to bring that experience. So those are the four, I'd say. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Anything you want to leave off with?
Oof. Anything I want to leave off with? I don't know. I'll just go a message for all like the resellers out there. Anybody still watching, just like, I want to think about this in a good way. What message would I have? I would just say, keep going is so like generic. But I would just say, just have fun with it. You know, like this whole thing in nature is, all driven by like something you're supposed to love, you know? And like when you keep that love of what you're doing at the base of what you're doing, you can't burn out. We're 12 years in of Got Soul, and we've stayed that long and have another 12 plus going because we love it. But a lot of people who just get tied up in the dollar figure of what a shoe is worth versus what it was worth a year ago, those people are going to feel discouraged. But like, just keep the love as to like why you're really in this doing this, you know, like think about that first time where you were watching that first YouTube video or got that first pair of sneakers. And like, if you could try to hold on to that love of what you're doing as much as possible and keep that at the forefront, I think that you'll just enjoy this that much more. So I'd say just remember why it is that you were in this thing for the first time, for the first place, you know, like I don't think you were in it to flip a Grinch Kobe, you know, and that doesn't mean that you can't keep flipping different things and making money, but don't let the internet tell you what the sneaker community or market is doing and make that feel how you actually want to engage with it. Like, did you really love this in the first place? Do you really like this self-representation that sneakers has? And if so, we're excited to see you at the next show. You know, that's what I'd say.
Fire. It's a great way to end it.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming by.
Appreciate you.
Keep doing your thing.
My guys.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.